We talked about product aspect, we talked about the company particularly, we talked about the audience. Now we are talking about the metrics and the incentivization, right? In terms of Google, you had a lot of things to give out as a incentivization thing. You have a number of swags, you have a lot of things to give out to different people. You even had money, but you didn't prefer it directly. For UX project, that is one of your things that you mentioned to me. You told me you scaled to a huge community at zero investment, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
now, how the approaches for these two different types of programs differ?
Okay, got it. Even with when you talk about GDGs, much is one of these things, but most of these people who are leading the communities are very self-driven, community-driven, doing things around in their respective regions. So that being said, now talking about UX project, that was a very interesting thing. So we have written two words on a yellow background, UX and project, created a Facebook page, which is free of cost, written a short about me section, created a Twitter profile, and Canva is also free of cost, the basic version. Created this, we are coming soon. Are you in UX? Like something we have written this tagline. If it didn't got you here, it won't get you anywhere or something like that. We have put up, and we have just launched that. And we shared a small meetup sort of thing. We are coming to say Bangalore, and we
Mm-hmm.
have created this event and a registration form. And then we started announcing first speaker. Then we announced second speaker who was interested in sharing their learning.
Mm-hmm.
And then we ended up in one of these interesting conferences. And we there, like three or four of us started talking about this particular community which came up. They are doing a meetup, and people got interested. So there was a buzz around this particular thing. And there was this another thing. Let them figure out, like, if people are expecting X, give them 5X or 10X. And that's what we did. And try making self-sustainable. So if you are really giving them value, people will come for sure. So we put up a price amount to these meetups instead of doing these free of cost meetup where they are getting swags, FNBs and all. We put up a price to that. We call these speakers. For the
Mm-hmm.
first registration form or first meetup we did, we got like around 1200 applications. And even
Right.
in that, we made it mandatory to put up their Behance profile and all that sort
Mm-hmm.
of thing which exists, right? Their portfolio and all that. People have
Mm-hmm.
applied. We
Right.
have selected, I guess, only 25 or 30 people out of those 1200. And these
Wow.
people are like very experienced people with 3 to 5 years of experience of from these larger companies like GE, Intel, and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Usually they don't get to get exposed to these sort of meetups because they are like pretty senior in the industry. So when they
Mm-hmm.
landed up over there, they're like very surprised because the kind of people they are seeing around them were like really active set of folks,
Mm-hmm.
really experienced set of folks, and whatsoever they are talking, everyone can relate to. They're like enterprise UX folks, which you usually don't see because people
Right.
outside are working on a very specific or very different niche. So that
Mm-hmm.
happened, and that's where Delight Stage 1 kicked in. We have selected a beautiful venue. That is where Delight Stage 2 kicked in.
Mm-hmm.
Then they were expecting two speakers. Then we have got two more guest speakers. We've somehow figured them out to be there, and they were like from different part of the world, and that was
Mm-hmm.
totally unexpected in the price amount that they have paid. And
Right.
that is something that created a very different sort of buzz. They started talking about that. People started writing blogs around this particular thing, and everyone started DMing us, hey, when you are doing in our city, when is that happening next, how can I get in, and
Right.
all that sort of thing. And even in the next session we have, and even agenda is also something which matters. So it was not around like people coming over there
Mm-hmm.
sharing their knowledge, talks and talks.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, if it's a four hours thing, so 2 hours there would be session, and for the next 2 hours there would be session, there would be workshop around the session which the first speaker has delivered. So since a person is talking about personas, the second
Mm-hmm.
speaker will talk about how to create persona. And
Right.
this guy has also got 12, 20 years of work experience sharing that learning with the sort of senior folks in the industry. And that's how we
Mm-hmm.
created this niche. Talking about tech communities as well, I have been to like those sort of communities where former Apple architects, 20, 25 years of work ex, top e-commerce app architects, like all these sort of developers are there. But
Mm-hmm.
all those are like very senior developers talking about some high level stuff, which and they are feeling comfortable in that sort of ecosystem. All these
Right.
are very senior, all these are like have their families, so they've got a very different sort of journey, career
Mm-hmm.
path and all that sort of thing, motivations as well. They don't
Right.
want to get hired in any companies because they are CTOs themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and they just come over there to learn. They don't need any
Makes
swags, they
sense.
don't need anything, they don't even need FNB. So it's
Exactly.
like that learning, and those sort of
Mm.
sessions also happens as well. It's just we don't know about that because our target audience is very different. We are in a very
Mm-hmm.
different age bracket, or we are a very different persona. So those communities are
Mm-hmm.
not targeting us as well, or we won't never, we wouldn't be
Hear
even
about
hearing
them.
like hearing about them. Yeah,
Right.
so that's
Right.
how it looks like. So yeah.
Makes sense. That's so interesting around things, because it depends on the community manager ultimately how they want to target, how they want to do it. And incentivization, as you had mentioned, around the ADA as well, is one of the things, right? So those are the things you had to think about. What actually drives the community? What is their desire, right? That's what the incentivization out there is. Perfect.